All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Spiral Podcast. Today is the Friday podcast where I just talk about anything, all the top 5 games for this week. It can be any of them. It's just the top 5 games that I think you should watch, and then I'm going to be predicting the winners and losers. So the number 1 game I have this week is USC at Michigan. It's a 3:30 kickoff, and USC has been looking really good so far this year. Starting off the season with a win against a pretty solid LSU team, and then just beating these other 2 opponents more recently. So, USC has been looking great. You can make a case for them to be a top 10 team right now. Miller Moss has been looking great as well on the offense. And the defense has seemed to pick up a little bit more than last year. And I think that's really key. They don't have any star guys, but they do have a lot of pretty decent guys. So I think that's going to be good for them. And also, they're not going to have a super hard task, in my opinion, with Michigan because Darius Warren has been looking terrible. And I honestly think Alex Orji will be the quarterback just to maybe try and throw off USC's game plan by the time the game starts. But either way, I just don't see a way that Michigan can win this game. They got humiliated by Texas at home 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, it's 2 weeks ago. I just don't think Michigan's going to win. If their quarterback play is not good, whoever starts, it's not going to be good. I think Alex Orji gives them more upside, but I don't think he's good necessarily. His throwing capabilities are way lower than what they should be for a Michigan quarterback. Michigan's defense hasn't even looked that great either. I mean, their defensive line, whenever Mason Graham, I believe it is, whenever he gets off the line, those teams are just going to run it straight up their face, and they can't do anything about it because their depth is not near as great as it was last year. Last year, they were cycling guys in and out, and it was fine. This year, they can't do that, and teams have been capitalizing on that. You saw Texas do it. Quinn Ewers, whenever he was in the game, just running right around them because their D-line can't do anything without Mason Graham. I think USC is going to capitalize on that. And Will Johnson, the best way to not Joel Klatt was talking about this, actually. The best way to beat Will Johnson is just to not throw it near him. They weren't taking any risky throws. They were just playing away from him, and that's honestly such a good point because he's obviously one of the best DBs in the country, but USC is going to try and take him out of the game as much as they can, try and minimize his effect on their really good passing game. But I got USC in this game probably by 10 points. I got them by 10 points, maybe 13 because I just can't see Michigan's defense stopping USC. And then on the other side of the ball, Michigan's O-line and quarterback play is just looking really lackluster recently. And yeah, I'm just not liking Michigan this year, man. Yeah. Number 2, the second game, I got Utah at Oklahoma State, which is going to be a 4 p.m. kickoff. Utah looking really good so far. Cam Rising, I would say, is playing pretty well. Oklahoma State, got off a win against Arkansas in overtime a while ago, in week 2. But, Ollie Gordon's going to have to carry Oklahoma State if they want to win this game. Utah's defense is just, really, really good. I don't know if Utah's defense is going to be able to stop Ollie Gordon if he gets going because he's been playing really good. He's easily better than Donovan Edwards, who was the cover athlete, actually, so it's kind of funny. I've seen a lot of people making fun of that. But, yeah, Ollie Gordon, man, he's special, but so is Cam Rising, and so is that Utah offense that's been kind of cooking recently. I just think if Utah plays their best, it's easily going to be a win. It is at Oklahoma State, so that's a factor as well. I just don't think Oklahoma State's defense is all that amazing. It's not bad, but I just don't think it's really all that great, especially against a team like Utah, who they haven't really played that much amazing competition recently. So it's going to be a real wake-up call, I believe, for Oklahoma State, and that's why, I have Utah winning. I got them winning by 7 points. I think it's going to be a good game. Oklahoma State, if they can make a statement this game, by the way, the Big 12 is completely up for grabs. It's either, Kansas State, after beating Arizona, just really shows how weird this conference is going to be. I have no idea who's going to win it. Oklahoma State, this would be a perfect time for Oklahoma State to try and get that Like, this game could potentially impact whoever makes the playoffs, because Oklahoma State, if they beat Utah, they're going to be probably considered the best team in the Big 12, and that game is going to become huge for the Big 12 championship resume to try and make the playoffs. So, and same thing with Utah. So, it's going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to that one. It's going to be some Big 12 madness for sure. And then the number 3 game is going to be Tennessee at Oklahoma, which is a 7:30 kickoff. And boy, that game is going to be great. Tennessee's offense, it is looking really good, man. Like, it's actually looking insane. Nico just been slinging the rock everywhere. Kent State, they dropped 30 points in the first quarter against Kent State. Now, Kent State's not good at all, trust me. But 30 points in the first quarter against anybody is insane. Tennessee, their offense, they did it to North Carolina State, did it to Kent State. Like, it's going to be hard to stop that offense. Oklahoma's defense, Oklahoma, not a historically great defensive program by any means. Is going to have a really hard time trying to contain their offense. I think they haven't been playing bad this year, but yeah, it's going to be hard to stop a high-powered offense like Tennessee's is. Oklahoma, their offense, Jackson Arnold, he's been playing pretty well. They got a few slow games, but I think they're starting to pick it up more as the season goes on. So, but he's going to have a great game, probably the best game of his career so far, because they need to beat Tennessee for sure. If they don't beat Tennessee, it's going to be really hard for them to do anything in the SEC. They got Texas later on in the season, so Oklahoma's got a really tough schedule. They need to get this one to have a chance at making the playoffs, and because they can afford to lose like a game or two, but if they lose to Tennessee, that means they're gonna have to beat Texas and all the other hard teams. They need to beat Tennessee, but in the end, I think I'm gonna get Tennessee just because their offense is so great. We're kind of in an offensive era of college football, so and I just don't think Oklahoma's defense is all that special. Like I said, it is, but it is at Oklahoma, 7:30 kickoff. I got them only winning by like 6 points because, that's a hard place to play at for sure. And Oklahoma could shock Tennessee, and Tennessee could just be playing off. And yeah, I got Tennessee winning, but yeah, Oklahoma's not an easy place to play at. Excuse me. The 4th game is going to be Illinois at Nebraska. Both of these teams are ranked after not being ranked at the start of the season, which is kind of cool to see. It's going to be at a Friday, so be sure to watch this later today. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff. I think it's going to be a great game. Nebraska, like I've said, super high on Nebraska. I'm still standing by that. I'm going to stand by that to the end of the season. Dylan Raiola's looks great. But Illinois coming off a big win against Kansas. That's cool to see because Kansas was ranked. They came into Illinois, and Illinois beat them. So, that was a great win for Illinois. And I believe they have Luke Altmaier at QB. I think so. Yeah. So he's been playing pretty well. Nebraska. I'm gonna pick Nebraska. I think you guys already know that. I love Nebraska this year, but I think this is gonna be close. I think this is Nebraska's hardest game. Now it is a night game at Nebraska Stadium, so Illinois coming into a tough game, and who knows? Maybe Kansas just had a fluke game, and Illinois is really not all that. But either way, it's gonna be a tough game. Nebraska is gonna have to. I think Illinois is better than Colorado, so it is definitely their hardest game, and we're just gonna have to see how Nebraska plays. But I think Nebraska. I got him by a touchdown. I think Dylan Raiola is just too good. Even though he's a freshman, I think he's just gonna beat Illinois for sure. And then number 5, I got Georgia Tech at Louisville. This game could be a sleeper, but this game might have a lot of implications for the ACC championship. Like, same scenario as the Big 12. Whoever wins this game might have a pretty good chance at making the championship just because the ACC is just really bad this year. Florida State's out of it, 0-3. They've looked terrible. Clemson's definitely in it. You got Louisville. Georgia Tech was right there. After a tough loss, though, they get unranked. But, yeah, I think whoever wins this game is going to have a really good chance at making that ACC championship game just because ACC is so thin at the top. Boston College might even make it, but, yeah, I think Louisville, if they can win this game, which I'm predicting them to win by, I I'm going to predict them to win only by a touchdown just because I think Georgia Tech's still a kind of a fringe top 25 team. And it's only a 3:30 kickoff game, or kickoff time, so, it's going to be a close game. I got Louisville winning that. I just think Georgia Tech coming off that loss, being unranked. Morale might be a little low, and then they have to go into Louisville. I think Louisville actually has such an underrated stadium, by the way. That's a tough place to play at for sure. So I got Louisville winning this one by a touchdown. And, yeah, I think it'll have huge ACC implications just because of how thin they are. At the top, besides Clemson, there's really not a whole lot of teams. So that's who I'm predicting to win the top 5 games of this weekend. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys like this podcast. I upload every week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I hope to see you guys in the next one, and bye.